Hello, everyone. Mike and Corey here today. It is Friday and the markets are in the green. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We always love that on a Friday. You may be, thinking, isn't today a holiday? Aren't I off work? So we're going to talk about the potential holiday that is, but unfortunately the markets are not closed. We're also going to talk about consumer confidence and the SPY and the S&P 500 and diving into that in the rebound, hopefully that's underway. But before we really get started, I'll remind you this is a financial education presentation. You must do your own due diligence on anything that you hear in this presentation. More disclaimer information can be found on ankerstarwealth.com, and the opinions expressed are mine and Corey's alone. So I wanted to start off. It's a holiday, and Corey already knows. So because I sent it to our team. So I'm going to pause for a second. If you're watching this, you're like, wait, what is he talking about? What holiday is it? You're thinking is it a religious holiday? Is it a government president's holiday? No, it is a math holiday. And for those of us that appreciate math, you guys are going to get this. It's not a Star Wars holiday. It's not May 4th. It is National Pi Day. Now, I know when people were in school, you guys heard of pi, P-I. And you remember 3.14. It involves calculating circumference of a circle and is used in lots of other mathematical formulas. Anyways, today is March 14th, 314. So, Corey, do you do anything special with your family to celebrate this important holiday?
Yeah, just extra math homework. Extra math homework for everyone.
I love it. So there you go. All of you with kids that are in school, it is extra math homework to celebrate this special day.
Can the market go up 3.14% today too?
Oh, even better. We'll really be celebrating that every year. So some key facts about National Pi Day. So, because you're like, this guy's crazy. I'm not sure I've ever heard of this before. Maybe I did. But Einstein's birthday is March 14th. So there you go. Another one. This was officially recognized by Congress in 2009, designated as National Pi Day. 2009, coming out of the great financial crisis and all that, they were probably just looking for good news, right? This is amazing, and I'm not quite sure why you would want to do this, but the current record, pi is a non-repeating number that goes on, obviously non-repeating forever. The current record for memorizing pi is 70,000 digits. Somebody memorized 70,000 digits of pi. Not sure why you would do that. Anyways, another special thing coming up in another hour and 15 minutes, hour 20 minutes. So who knows when you'll actually get this, but at 1:59 today, 1:59, and it happened 1:59 in the middle of the night. That is extra special because the next three digits after 3.14 is 159. I'd never heard of that before. So, take a moment of silence at 1:59. I guess you could celebrate it Central, Pacific, whatever time. Last that I'm going to say, or two more. One is the modern computers, and maybe we'll get this quantum computing and Rigetti and all this. They have computed pi to 100 trillion digits. 100 trillion. It's actually a number bigger than the US deficit, which is only like 35 trillion, but they've got it out to 100 trillion digits. And with quantum computing, we'll go to the next level, quadrillions or whatever. And then last is, if you miss Pi Day and you're kind of like, wow, it makes me kind of sad that I missed this special day. They have national, I don't know if it's national, it's approved by Congress, but they have Pi Approximation Day. So the non-mathematical people would say pi is almost like 22 divided by 7. So on July 22nd, that is Pi Approximation Day. You know, maybe the markets will be closed. Maybe Steve will give us the day off. But those are some interesting things on National Pie Day. Now, Corey, how many of those had you heard before?
You got me on a lot of those.
How many digits of pi do you have memorized?
3.1427.
Oh
Am
my
I
gosh.
wrong? Am I off?
159. You got to have at least that 159. So you're not quite up to 70,000. So anyways, just so you know, I don't have any more memorized either.
Triple math homework for me.
Triple
Triple.
math. Okay. So let's get to some other good uplifting news that will make you happy, I hope. So first we'll start off is consumer sentiment comes in low. It's the lowest since 2022. What do people feel? That's not good news, right? You're like, oh no, I don't want to hear that. That sounds like bad news. People are less confident. Let me give you the good news side of that. And I'm going to bring up this chart. I think I showed this a few weeks ago. But this is a graph of consumer confidence. Compliments of JP Morgan sent this. But if you look the bottom, you know, the lower the consumer confidence, the lower the point goes. And you can see those bottom points. You're like, consumer confidence in the 50s. Ooh, that's ugly. You know, the average is like 85. But what I want you to focus on is what does the market do in the next 12 months? So the last 9 bottom points, when the consumer confidence hit the bottom, and we don't know if we're at the bottom yet, but when it hits the bottom, the next 12 months has returned an average of 24%. So it's almost like the sky lifts, it's brightest right before, you know, when it's dark, everyone loses confidence. That's when the market does the best. So that's the good side of this. You see a bad number like, oh, consumer confidence is way down. There's concerns about inflation and tariffs and, you know, all kinds of things. As an investor, which you are invested most likely if you're watching this, this is when the market does the best. Now, is there any guarantee of that? Absolutely not. Do we know if we're at the bottom of this consumer confidence trough? We do not know that until we start to come out of it. So anyways, I just thought I'd show that. And I'm going to go back to this other screen. So what's happening with like a key stock? And I want to show NVIDIA because that's always a stock in discussion. So I'm showing a year-to-date graph of NVIDIA. NVIDIA started the year 136. It got as high as 150. Everybody's loving it. It was, I think, when it crossed 150, it was the biggest company by market cap. It's had its ups and downs. So DeepSeek comes out, the stock sells down to 120, somewhere in that range. It works its way up to 140 again, and then all of this tariff stuff comes out. Market sells off, the entire market did, not just NVIDIA, and boom, it goes down around 105, 106. So when you buy high quality assets and they sink quickly, or they sink or seek, DeepSeek, they sink quickly, they tend to be rebound quickly. So you're seeing a company like NVIDIA today up almost 5% when the overall market isn't up that much. Like, this is a leader of the market. Guess what? When it goes down, pulls the market down. When it goes up, it pulls the market up because it's one of the 3 biggest companies, Apple and Microsoft being the other 2. So just thought I would show that. And then the last of my green good news for the day, just a real quick market update. I don't really worry about the Dow, but the S&P is up 1.8%. NASDAQ, which is really, you know, that would be very closely tied to NVIDIA, 2.3%. So NVIDIA is up twice as much as the NASDAQ. And then that red number on the right is this volatility going down, which, you know, that could be good or bad, but it's probably in this point, it's escalated. So it's good that it's going down. So this is really green across the board to me. And with that, I'll turn it over to Corey. He's going to do a little bit more deep dive into or deep seek. He'll do a little deep seek into the S&P 500 and the SPY.
Yeah, just a couple of interesting levels. So, you know, you're wondering, oh, what's going to happen next? What's the market telling us? This is a 1 week chart. So of the S&P 500, you can see, and this is the index, not an ETF tracking the index. This is the actual index. You can see that 5620 level, you had a multiple bounces and like, oh, we're going to try to go. No, we're going to try to go. No, we're going to try to go. Well, today, at the time I took this picture, it was back above that 5620 level. And then here's the interesting part. And Mike, have you been watching any basketball this week? Any tournament
Well,
stuff?
I saw Ohio State got beat in the first round of the Big Ten tournament, and that made me sad. But I,
Yeah, we won't talk about my Aggies either. But I have been watching some good basketball for sure. Well, the market, if you zoom out, this is a 5-day chart. Let's go to like a 1 year. This is a little less than 1 year. The market's been playing some basketball at this 5600 level for kind of pulling up on a year now. So go back to last August, it bounced underneath the market, the S&P index bounced underneath the 5600 level, come back at September 1st, it kind of bounced again, pulling into the fall. It got up above and then sort of retested the 5600 level, bounced up that time, and then came back just before the election, tested it again, and exploded higher. Well, the market had fallen below that level. And that is a really key level when you have this much kind of trading volume memory at a specific level. It's really important. So yeah, if we get that close, if we can stick the landing, get, let's say, a solid 2% day in the S&P 500, it really shows that, hey, buyers and sellers are meeting in the middle again at this 5600 level, and could potentially push higher from there. So anyway, that's what I'm looking at on that level. What's going on today. And then here, Mike, I just wanted to show, these are those top 10 stocks every 5 years so going back to 1980. And I know we've had tech come in. Man, Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire Hathaway is not going away.
are you picking on me because I was alive in 1980? I'm just kidding.
Well, no, but I mean, these companies have been alive a lot longer than you and I.
Look at that nice run that IBM had for like, IBM was at the top and then, gone. And IBM's still out there. Look at, they cracked 2010 again. So they're out there. Certainly a reason why you want to not just buy and hold forever. Because if you just bought IBM and held for, I imagine you'd be up. But, if you would have bought Exxon, or if you bought General Motors, some of those companies, and of course, if you bought them in 1980 and held forever, you probably wouldn't have bought Apple or Microsoft and some of the ones that took off with the internet boom.
Yeah, it is interesting. Walmart's an interesting one. It's not quite top 10 right now, but it's hovering, or it's fallen about 20%, but it was at all-time highs not long ago at all, probably 6 weeks ago. So
Yeah.
just because companies do fall out doesn't mean that they're dying. It does mean that, things change, and it's a market cap weighted index, and we are firmly in the Mag 7 era. And what do you think? Do you have a prediction about that, Mike? Do you think these margins and things will get compressed at some point?
Well, with innovation, you're always going to have companies on the heels of the leaders, learning from what they do, and that's the beauty of innovation. And the things with Microsoft, which is more of a software company. I know they're getting a little bit into hardware. Apple and Nvidia definitely have hardware. Amazon, Google, Facebook, all software companies. Software is cheaper to get in. It'd be pretty hard for me to start a company to compete with ExxonMobil. Like, I can't go out and buy land and oil refineries and all that. It's pretty hard, but the cost of getting into software is less. So I expect we will see innovation. I truly expect that when we see this thing for 2030 and 2035, we're going to see new companies come in there that we may hear of right now and say, well, they're kind of small. Who knows? Maybe a Palantir, maybe a quantum computing company, maybe, we're like, I've kind of heard of them, but some of those will be in the 2030 top 10, but we don't know who they are yet. And guess what? Some of those ones in 2025 are going to drop out. So
Yeah, give me one. Give me one that you think could drop out. It's a 2025 one that you think, for one
um,
reason or another, will drop out.
well, I mean, I'm gonna sorry, Eli Lilly, and I do know employees of Eli Lilly. I think there's a lot of contention for drugs, pharmaceuticals, and a lot of pharmaceuticals are paid by the government for Medicare and Medicaid. So I could foresee the government continuing to cut on reimbursement, which would affect an Eli Lilly for sure. That would probably be the biggest one. It's hard to fathom the other ones. JP Morgan Chase is a phenomenal bank, investor, holds ETFs, so very broader than just a bank. So I can't imagine, but they could always drop out of the top 10.
Sure, yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
you
not
know,
not in a sense that it's a bad company, just that things
yeah.
change. Yeah.
Well, if you look at like 2020, like Visa, Johnson and Johnson, and Walmart all dropped out. None of those companies is in any financial trouble. They're probably in
Right.
the top 20. They're just not showing in the top 10 anymore. So all of those are great companies that are still around.
I would throw, I don't know. I would
What do you
guess,
think? Who do you think's going to drop out?
I'll say this, from a historical perspective, we've seen the semiconductor space be a volatile space.
Mhm.
And in this wave, that volatility brought two new companies in to the top 10.
Yep.
And I wouldn't be shocked if that volatility swung the other way in some way. These other Mag 7 stocks are making their own chips. Um, what does all that look like in the future? I don't know. And so I wouldn't be shocked. That's all I'm saying. Nvidia is head and shoulders above the rest,
Mhm.
but that's a more boom bust type of company. And when I say boom bust, not a total bust, but the things get hot and they cool off. It's a little more cyclical than a Microsoft or an
So,
Amazon. Yeah.
so Corey, I want you to put it on your calendar. National Pi Day
Okay.
2030. We'll revisit this slide. So 5 years from now, we'll pull this slide up, and then we'll look at the new top 10, and we'll revisit what we thought. I'm sure, my hair may be a little grayer. Who knows? Who knows? Corey's so young. It'll be good. Hopefully, I'll still be here. So
Portfolio's a little bigger.
portfolio's a little bigger. Well, I'll be in the home office. Corey will have more books on his shelf and more things hanging on his wall by then. I am positive that I'm comfortable with making that prediction.
All right.
Okay. Thanks everybody. Have a great weekend. If you stayed on this till the end, I know we're going to send out a quick email regarding tariffs. I fully expect you're going to hear more about tariffs, so please don't be discouraged as this all unfolds. The market doesn't like uncertainty, but guess what? Uncertainty allows us chances to buy things on sale, and when it gets resolved, the market will go up. It always has. So have a great weekend.